So in this video, I'm doing a tutorial on how to make guitars in GarageBand. It's my first ever tutorial on GarageBand and how to do things on there. So a little nervous about it, but we're gonna begin. So what you want to do is click create new song, and you'll have this menu, live loops. We aren't going to use that. I used to use it to begin with. You'd go on new, and that's how you start a new project. But for this, we are just going to go on to tracks, and you could choose any instrument, but we're going to do guitars. This is like the most basic beginner amateur level, and we're going to go from simple easy GarageBand stuff to stuff outside of GarageBand using separate software. Basically, we're going to use hang on, let me find it, pure synth. You can use any synth really, but we're going to focus on pure synth because it's free and I really like it. It's got it so you can play polyphonic, which means multiple notes at once rather than one note at a time, or mono phonic. So let's start. So this is basically guitars. I don't use this as much, but this is like your most, hang on, let me turn that down a lot. This is your most basic guitar sounds, and you can switch it to this as well. You can also change the autoplay and move this one up, and then it automatically plays different stuff. We're going to focus more on the metal side of it as well. I should mention that. I'll probably put it in the title. So with metal, it's way easier to get synth guitars than acoustic ones. I'm still learning how to do all this. So this is the easiest way, but we're going to go on to notes rather than chords. And we can record something in a second. Let me just change the metronome volume. So you can do string bends. You can record that in. Go to settings. Basically, we want timing with the metronome on the grid, basically. So if you go on to the MIDI, you tap again, go on to settings, quantization. I can't even say it. And this you want to put as whatever note duration you're doing. For this, it's 8th notes. So you can, if you look at the green MIDI information, you can see that the notes automatically adjust and line up. So originally it was back here. The notes actually line up now. So if I play it now, it's with the metronome. You can change your sound as well. The reason I don't use this is because if we go back to our instruments, which you can press the plus sign to go to, the keyboard function is why I don't use the guitar stuff like that, because on keyboard you'd go on to the first one, smart piano. I forgot to mention that. And this is same setting. You can basically do the pre-made chords. I think you can change it as well with stuff up here. I don't remember how to change the chords. We're gonna know that. You could also do this type of stuff. We're not using that. So if you go on to this red icon in the right middle, that drops it down to this. So now you have the piano sound basically. And if you go onto the middle, the piano icon, You go where it says keyboard, you go all the way to the bottom where it says other. On other, you go down, you have your instruments there. And in a second, I'll explain the reason I don't use this, the top one, the main guitar function. And that is because you go back onto keyboard, you can't drag MIDI notes from guitar onto piano. If I copy it, you can't paste it. Whereas this one, if I do the same hard rock guitar, I played different notes because I forgot what notes to play, but this is another reason I don't use it, because it's easy to forget what notes you've played and recorded. Whereas this one, I can't bring it down to here. But this one, I can bring it down, so then we can have a piano as well as guitar, and it's good for layering with this. Another trick is tap the MIDI, tap it again, go on to settings, you can do octaves. And most of what I do as a producer is literally copy, paste, and change octaves. That's most of what to do. You do want to record some stuff like chords, melodies and things like that within a song, but a lot of it, once you've got all of them, you can just copy, paste and change the octaves. So if I want higher pitch, I could do plus with the octave. You can also, let's say I want like half of it to be one, half of it to be the other. You can cut, if you go on to split, it'll split it up, so then, there you go. So now, I can change separately the octaves. Another thing you could do with this as well, if I duplicate that, is you can do pitch bend in the left middle corner. So this is still beginner way of doing it. This is everything within GarageBand. We're going to get out of GarageBand in a minute. Well, still in GarageBand, but software out of GarageBand, which are completely free. All of them are free. I'm a tight arse, so I like free stuff. But another trick, the main trick some producers use when they want to get a guitar sound is literally just a piano sound and distortion basically on it. And that's an easy way to get any software to get a guitar sound. You just use piano, put some guitar distortion, and you got it. So now we're getting into the more advanced stuff, and for this I use Tonebridge because it's free and you can get a lot of sounds. You just type in distortion, and all of a sudden you've got all your distortion sounds. And another trick is if you go into the what's it called, the thingy, the keyboard thing, you can choose a sound that sounds a bit plucky like a guitar. So maybe this will work. Yeah, this one will work because it's got that guitar DNA, I guess. It's got, And another thing is you'd want to use the mod wheel as well, because that gives it more. And you can choose any sound, any synth sound on here. Some of them, I have a lot of different ones that I got from a sound library. And one of the main ones I used was a trumpet. And that sounds a little bit like one, but not too much. If you go into the sample library at the top right corner, it's a loop icon. This is basically loops, and you could type in guitar. You might have to click on or tap on get more. So on sound library, I think it's this guy. He's got some guitar sounds. That might have been pretty loud. And the software crashed. Hang on. So with this, let's say, where was it? This one will work. So with this, another thing you can do is you can get the samples of the guitar, and you can do again Tonebridge or whatever guitar software you have, and all of a sudden you've got guitar sound. You can also put it into a sampler. I forgot to mention what version I'm using. This is all of the settings I have. It's version 2.3.17 with GaregeBand. You can drag it into a sampler, but I don't know why mine's not working. I just get a stupid dog sound. But you can drag it in a sampler and then play different notes. So that's the still simpler beginner stuff ways of doing it. Another thing I forgot to mention, the other amp I use is Tonex and Tonebridge. They're the main ones. And J-amp, but a J-amp, you want to do it a bit differently, basically. Next way is with synthesizers. So you could use any synthesizer. For this, I'm using Pure Synth, and you would want a saw wave, and a square wave seems to be the best, but saw wave, I mean, works best. Well, I'm not 100%, I'm still learning, but it seems to work best. So already with this, we've got a bit of a guitar sound, and what we want to do is shape it more into a guitar, and you'd want to change the amp envelope. But you can have it plucky like that. And you can get guitar sound like that, but the guitar usually sustains the note it's playing. Not too much, but... And you can change different sounds. This one might sound more like one. You would want to change the filter as well to make it a little more muffly. You can do it with the guitar distortions, but I like to do the synthesizer first, get the sound as close as possible to a guitar, and then do that. You want to change the cut off as well, so it's more muffly. You also want to press the power on button for the filter. I am going a little quick, but that's just because I don't want to edit the video, so I'm trying to keep it moving a bit. You want to lower the cut off. You can put the resonance up, or the res, and you don't have to do it exactly. You can do it however you want, and it'll give it its own sound. But for this, sometimes it's good to get it right first, then go your own way with it. I also want the plucky nature of it. You can also go into where it says semitones and put it to envelope mode, and this. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention you'll have to download Pure Synth on the App Store separately, and it is free. So with this, you want that right. Hang on. Just shaping it a little bit. You might want a compressor as well. I noticed the compressor gives it pluckiness. This is more advanced stuff now. And you might want to change it from polyphonic to mono. And what this does, basically, it means instead of playing multiple notes, it'll only play one note at a time. And this is good if you want like a lead guitar. You can hear the difference with that. So another thing you could do is you can also use another synthesizer as well to get more higher frequencies. So you don't want it exactly, well, you do want it exactly like a guitar. The more you get it sounding like it's a guitar, the better. It will be after this, but you don't have to spend like hours and hours just trying to shape a guitar sound. You can, but you don't have to. You can add a bit of chorus if you want, but that just gives it a bit of style to it, shapes it. So now we're going to use two things. We're going to use Tonex and Tonebridge, which both of them you'll have to get on App Store. Yeah, you can do that by going into the plugins and EQ. This is where you go to get that stuff. You go into edit, you go where it says none, and you're on effects. You want to be on audio unit extensions. I forgot to mention that earlier. So you might have to go back and do that. But so this is where you basically shape your own tone. So you can get like Tonebridge going. Another thing you can do is you see the bottom right where it says scales and the sliders, and this one you want. And this opens modulation and pitch. Pitch bends the note, so if you play a note, you can build it, bend it up basically, so it goes higher pitch. And for a real like guitar effect, you do want to use that a bit, because when you play guitar, when you pluck a note and you hold your finger on the fretboard, guitarists, they don't always just play the note on its own. They add a few different techniques. They might mute the string with the palm of it, and you have that technique. A hammer-on, so instead of it, and pull-off, so instead of it just going from one note to another, it kind of glides to that note without them actually plucking it the second time. There's another technique, it's... I forgot what I was saying, hang on. Pitch bend is another technique a guitarist would use, where when they play a note, they push the string with the fretboard up in pitch. So then you'll have that guitar effect. And I'm still learning how to get the style of the guitar. Because sometimes when I play guitar, I'd play a note, but when I string bend, I pluck it before I string bend, so you can mimic it on that a bit. So with Tonebridge, this is what I'm using. You could choose any tone, but where it gets really fun and interesting is with these. It's we'll go into Tonex. So Tonex is another guitar distortion app. For this, we want it in polyphonic because we want rhythm. And usually guitars play a fifth, so they'd play, if you're in C major, let's say. I wonder if I could put the notes up. Hang on, bear with me. There we go. So if you're in C major, this is a bit of theory. A guitarist, when they play a power chord, it's called, they play in a fifth and an octave. So C major, you have like the first note, the second note, the third note, fourth note, fifth note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because it's the fifth note, it's a fifth. So you can just play a fifth on its own, but you would move that shape to different positions, and then you just play an octave, so from C to C. And that is called a power chord in guitar. There's different ways of doing it, but that's the main one to use. And a way to remember it is it's 3 notes apart from what you're playing. So if you're playing C and a G, if you look between the C and G, there's 3 white keys, space between them. And then the octave, you can see there's like 2 spaces here, so it's a fourth from G to C, or just play the octave. So that's how you get it in muscle memory. And you just try around with the default stuff. There we go, one I like. And then you can use visual EQ. You don't even have to toggle it on. I think if you just use it automatically. So I want a bit of bass to like. EQ is completely different depending on what tone you have and what tone you're going for as well. Some rhythm guitars, you don't just want the bass. Sometimes I use like the high frequencies, even though it's a bass and it's low end. I still use high frequencies just to give it that sharper distortion. Sometimes I want the muscliness, so it depends on what you're going for. Another thing, if we go back into monophonic, it's decent. It's not amazing sounding. So with metal genres, you have two types. You have the very quick paced and the very slow and groovy. I'm probably going to go more slow and groovy because I prefer that kind of style. So for this, you'll want to go on to drums, like a step sequencer or beat sequencer. This is going to the more advanced stuff, so I'm going to try and speed it up a little bit. So with this, drums, this is more separate to guitars, so I'm going to quickly go through this. Drums, you want crashes, whatever these are, rides and cymbals. These are crucial to get in a metal style. And you also might want to change velocity a bit. Just to make it feel a little more natural. So I'm just doing it a bit randomly. Sometimes I would focus on. And now I'm just playing random notes. Oh wait, you can barely hear me. Oh, sorry about that. Metal drums, you want crashers, you want rides, you want cymbals. These are the main things. You also might want to change velocity a bit of the notes. I do it a bit more randomly, and it gives it more of a human feel to it. So we're just going to record, this is... I'm going to keep the elements that I liked, which was the intro bit. And then I'm going to join it together. Usually what I do, I kind of did it back to front though, because I usually do guitars, then the drums. But so I'm going to do D minor. And something I do is I just play a minor second with B and then B flat, and it gives it more of a horror feel. And there's two ways of getting it as a fifth, because remember how I said to get a metal sound you want to play fifths. With this, you could do it this way. You could copy it. You focus on the last note, or the note that makes sense most. So for me, it's B. So I know B, F sharp is a fifth. You could also count 7 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is a fifth. So without it, with it. Another way I do it, because this is slightly quicker for me, is I'd copy it, I paste Go to settings, change the semitones to a seventh, which is, like I said, 7 notes. It's a fifth, even though it's 7 notes. Just think of 7 notes is fifth. And then again, an octave. So now you can keep it like this and work with that and change all 3 of the sounds individually, like that, low, mid and high. You can also highlight them all, go on to whichever one, top one I want to go on last, and press join. And this joins them together. Another thing with drums, sometimes you want a lot of reverb. If it's more like a slower metal song, like slower and groovy, you want reverb. If it's more quicker pace, you might not. You might even want to put reverb on guitar as well. I'm just gonna try and shape it a little bit because I'm not happy with the guitar. You know, I might even put another. And you can again play with octave. And then you could add, hang on, there we go. I'm not happy with the drums. So with this I could. Just to get the oh wait, hang on. Right, let's do guitar. Another thing you can do is an arpeggiator. So this would hang on. This will play multiple notes. Quantize that. I've got 16. So. And for me, I'm not happy with the synth sound. So I might change it to a different instrument. I'm going to use one that I've already made. So if you go onto this blue icon, you can save ones you've made. And I'm going to use this one. Because I know it sounds more like a guitar. So this is basically saw, triangle and the sine layered together. Then a few effects, chorus, and some EQ. So you kind of layer it and build it upon itself. I've got this set to pitch as well, so it changes the pitch like a real guitar does. So without all these effects, it sounds like this. So I tried to get it sounding a little like a guitar, as much as I could. So you can hear it sounds a bit like a guitar. And then I used the same stuff here. I used something a bit different though, because I used this, which I'm still completely learning. I have no idea what it did. I just like the compressor sound. It worked, and that's. So sometimes you want a compressor to make it sound more plucky. It's good for that. Again, Tonebridge. So I'm using a few different apps. Tonex. Tonebridge gives it more like a higher frequency, those sharper sounds. Which sometimes you want, sometimes you don't. Tonex gives you more like lower, bassier sounds. So together they're quite good. EQ, again, there's like, I boosted the bass a bit, but there's a lot of high frequency. I boosted, I don't really think about what I'm changing there. And then widener makes it go from this to this. It adds a chorus after 100, a bit of a chorusy sound. And this is used to widen the audio, so instead of it sounding like it's from the middle, it sounds like it's coming from the side of the speakers. And then you can press the plus icon to change the overall length of the song. So for this, I want the drums to be not as heavy, more of like an intro-y kind of thing. So maybe more like then maybe more. I think that's gonna, there we go. Now I would also change the velocity of these. I forgot to do that. You can, so I'd press again, press loop, and that gives you that. You can go in here and change the individual velocity. I'm not gonna do that because I've already recorded it, I'm lazy. But maybe you want like an intro, so more like a... And there's also one in the app as well. There is some... I'm going to change the tone of this in a minute. Yeah, so we have nearly done. Yeah, so we went from a beginner level. You can still combine the two. Actually, that might be something I'm going to do in a second. I kind of want like a brighter sound, so I'm going to use this. Not this. Wrong one. This. Right, so we go back on keyboard. You can layer other sounds with it, but it's a bit harder with metal to layer other instruments. Right, hard rock. The good part about this is you can also change it on the main default GarageBand instruments. Now there is this one, but the problem is it. Oh, hang on. I got really loud again. You could change it to this. The problem is it doesn't. Every here it says each minute this app will output 3 seconds of silence. A few apps do that. The trick is you can record something in. So let's. Quantize it. And then you go into merge and you export it or bounce it as an audio file rather than a MIDI file. Now, if you have a really long project, the trick is you'd copy the MIDI like this. You'd copy this. You'd make a new project like this. This is if you've got a massive project, like nearly at the end with a lot going on. You can export it on here and it's a lot quicker. And then you can just delete that. It does make a copy as well when you export it as an audio. And here you can go on paste and now a trick that I completely forgot to do was have the guitar duplicate it, then do that. I'll show you what I mean. I did that wrong, basically. So, other instrument, hard rock. So what I'd do is... that was very loud. So we've got the MIDI data. What I would do is I'd recommend duplicating it. Copy the MIDI data. Actually, you can just copy. Oh, I never even realised that. You don't even have to press duplicate. Copy MIDI, paste, and then you can do the merge. So even though there's a 3 seconds of silence of the app, this is a workaround to not have that. And but the reason I do this is because you still have the original. So if you're not happy with the audio, you still have the original. Add some reverb and echo just to drag it out. So, that's pretty much the song nearly done. I just want to get a few more. I feel like we could use this later. Probably use that. I don't like that one. You might also want to headphone individual ones silent. Probably do this one. And then I think we've nearly done this. Time's off, I've just noticed that. So wow, there's a lot of timing issues. feel like this could have more. Micro phaser and things like that gives it an extra. And I think we are pretty much done. One more thing I want to do is this. You do want to make sure the volume is a lot more than this. I've kind of just got it as this for the video. Press to automation. I kind of leave this to end because it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Don't like it just cuts off. Could probably just do this. There we go. 38. So you want to make sure you've got enough room at the end as well. So there, I could clear it off a bit, these cuts. And I think we're done. You could even do something like this, maybe. You can also add a riser as well. So if you go into the loop icon, riser, and this will make it more impactful. Maybe I want more to higher. I think we are pretty much done. This is the whole song. So what you want to do is, once you finished your song, you go into the top left with that icon. It saves it. You can go on to select, tap whichever song you've just made. You go into the bottom left where it says share. You press share. It's the left one. It's the first one where it says song. You go on song. Choose highest quality. This is the one I use. You can share. And you can choose where to share it. You can share it on Messenger. You can share it on Gmail. You can save it as to files, which I'm going to do. So, hang on. What this is doing. Yeah, so I've hope you enjoyed the video. This is the first tutorial I've ever done of how to get guitars in GaregeBand professionally. And then you can go off of that, you can go into your folders. I saved it on the Apple files. And yeah, so this is what we've done today basically. So enjoy. And after this, I'm ending the video. So thanks for watching and goodbye everyone. Enjoy.